In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. Of course, I am the host of this particular program, known here on what some may call the World Wide Web as the mighty Angel Snub Number 7. I am your brother, and hopefully your friend, Talik Ibn Ra. You know, we are always somebody's brother or sister as long as we agree with them. When we say something they don't like, if we disagree with them, then you are my brother, you are my sister, but you a little crazy. You hate me. You are insane. You become loony. That is so sad. That is so sad. In our families, you may not agree with your mother. Your mother probably did not agree with you when you joined the Nation of Islam, when you became a black Hebrew Israelite, or when you joined the Black Power Cartel, or when you married a pink person, or whatever. We always disagree. That don't mean that we hate. That don't mean that we don't love you as much. My son just told me he's a homosexual. Do that mean that I should hate my son? And religious teachings will cause a man to hate his son when his son tells him, I'm homosexual. At the same time, we should understand that this environment that we live in causes certain behaviors. And when we look at ourselves, we are not healthy and well. So how can we judge others, and how can we determine and be angry at the results of what somebody has chosen to do in his or her life? We have become self-righteous and arrogant, and we need to stop that. For real. For real, though. On this 48th anniversary of the assassination of our brother Malcolm X, may he rest in peace forever. And no man, if no man deserved to rest in peace, brother Malcolm deserves to rest in peace. But during this time that many of us observe this sad anniversary of the assassination of our brother, what would brother Malcolm like to be said in his behalf? What would Malcolm like for us to know? Sister Betty Shabazz gives me a clue after listening to her in a speech made in 1995, where her and our brother, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, presented reconciliation. But Sister Betty made it very much known. She said, when Malcolm joined the Nation of Islam, it basically consisted of only 4 temples or mosques with a bunch of elderly people running around. But by the time Malcolm left the nation, or he was forced out of the nation, because of his great work, the Nation of Islam rose to national prominence, and there was a temple or a mosque in every major city in the United States, plus overseas. And I also remind you that Malcolm X was the one that presented us with what we call the Muhammad Speaks. Unfortunately, because of jealousy and envy and personal hurt, because see, Malcolm was a sincere person. He was a very studious person. And he trusted the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I understand Malcolm. When Malcolm found out Elijah was having all these relationships with these young women, this was outside of what the messenger was teaching his followers. And then, of course, we want to bring in that the messenger has the right to have 10 wives and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, but that's not what you taught me, and that's not what you're teaching. If you had taught us that in the beginning, why is it a secret? Why are you sneaking around like that? This is supposed to be a holy and righteous man. Of course Malcolm's supposed to be upset, and you should too. But see, we get all celebrity-fied. We start becoming slaves to personality, slaves to preachers and pastors. They can't do no wrong, and they can come up with any kind of excuse and reason to justify their actions. Yes, they are not perfect, so just let me know that you ain't perfect. Why are you trying to justify that you sneaking around with young women getting babies? Let us know. You're no different and no better than the racist pink people that are our oppressors, because that's what they do. Sneaking around. That's deceiver action. So why Malcolm can't be upset? But a slave to another man, a slave to personality and charisma or whatever it is, Negroes, y'all got that bad. These are nothing but men. They make mistakes, they make flaws, and they have errors. And so the CIA, the FBI, took advantage of all this stuff that was going on. And in the meantime, in defense of his teacher, Louis Farrakhan began to preach things to incite an atmosphere to cause great hatred of Malcolm. And so the result was the assassination of Malcolm X, the Nation of Islam's best friend. Even to this day, Malcolm X was the Nation of Islam's best friend. Allah gave you a gift, and look what you did. So what did Allah do? Now see, I'm not religious, but I'm looking at it from another point of view. So what did Allah do? You say that before Allah destroys a nation, it gives that nation or people a peek into the heavens. So after you assassinated Malcolm X, the Nation of Islam grew to great, great heights, didn't it? Gave you a peek at heaven. And then it all came crumbling down. It was destroyed. Nothing was left. And the man that was preaching hatred, calling Malcolm X a hypocrite, he became a hypocrite himself. And he confessed and admitted that. Running around with Jim Jones. And Wardi Muhammad had so many names, the man can't even make up his mind what he want to name himself. But that's who you following. And Louis Farrakhan continued to hate on Malcolm X, even after Malcolm was dead and gone. So in 1993, he tells us, what business it is of yours, America? This is how we treat. We don't tell you how to treat your traders. We are a nation, and we deal with our traders the way we deem fit. The problem with that statement is that you are not a nation. You're just a little organization that operates within the authority of another people. And if these people don't want you around no more, they know how to get rid of you. And the house that you're talking about, if it was not for Malcolm X, you wouldn't have nothing to talk about. Because ain't nobody been able to replicate what Malcolm did ever since. Even to this day. None of y'all can hold a match to the greatness of Malcolm. He had no internet. He had no TV. But you want to know something? But Malcolm X forgives everybody. Because Malcolm has that type of heart. He does not want his assassination to hinder the progress of black folks. chance that he would be assassinated. Unfortunately, it was by people with his own skin color, kinky hair, broad nose, thick lips. But he was willing to give his life. And the Nation of Islam paid the ultimate price. It paid with its life. The Nation of Islam fell. And why did the Nation of Islam fall? Because you condemned a man who was not a hypocrite, and you hoisted on your shoulders the real hypocrite, Wardeen Muhammad. This was common knowledge. The man was in and out of the nation. He made it clear that he did not support and did not believe in Elijah Muhammad's teaching, and y'all put him up as a leader. And he destroyed 40 years of work in less than 2 years. And the Nation of Islam continues to be punished because the Nation of Islam was wrong in what it did to Brother Malcolm X. But he forgives, and we will forgive you, but we will never forget, because some people out there still are immature. Some people still call Brother Malcolm a hypocrite. Still a fool. And as long as you're still a fool, your God Allah, you'll never progress. So that's why you look like you're going somewhere and you're doing the moonwalk, but you're not going nowhere. Malcolm was a good and sincere man. He did not deserve to be shot down like a dog in front of his wife and children. You can't handle the truth. We don't know if Sister Betty, the reason why she did what she did was to save her daughter. You said she did not, but we don't know that. Maybe she did what she did because you hurt that family. Farrakhan hurt that family. And those people who followed up with all that hate. And now you continue to pay the price. As long as the Nation of Islam is in existence, it's going to have to deal with what it done to a sincere man. And I'm going to continue to remind you of the hypocrites that y'all hoisted on your shoulder. You are forgiven, but it'll never be forgotten. And when you get arrogant like some of y'all do, you will be reminded of the evil that you did to your own people and your greatest warrior. Jot down your comment. Let's talk about it. This was and is the Reality's Temple on Earth.